One of the essential qualities of effective leaders is diagnostic thinking. And by diagnostic thinking, I mean the ability to look at a problem and not to go from problem to solution, but engaging in an intermediate step of going from problem to diagnosis and then solution. And this diagnostic step may sound really obvious, but it's not so obvious because in the heat of the moment, when leaders are trying to make decisions, it's really tempting to be what I call action-oriented. I look at a problem and I propose a solution and I go for it. And this idea of pausing for a second and then figuring out and then moving forward that way just doesn't come naturally to some people. I'll give you a personal example of this. A few years ago, I was on a flight from Utah coming back. I was going to Chicago. And I skied all day. I don't get to ski. I was living in Chicago at the time. I didn't get to ski much in Chicago, so I decided to stay an extra day. I had gone for a conference, skied all day, and I was catching the last flight back. So I got up in the morning. I hadn't eaten breakfast. I just went straight to the slopes, skied, didn't really drink much water either, I think. I dash and make it to the flight. I race. I'm on the flight. I'm feeling a little tired. Plane takes off. Seatbelt signs are on. We're climbing. I felt feeling a little dizzy and lightheaded. I asked the flight attendant, can I have a glass of orange juice? She's probably having a bad day, and she says, no, until we level off and the seatbelt signs off, I'm not going to give it to you. I said, okay, I'll wait. A few more minutes later, I feel worse. I ask again. She says, no. A few minutes later, I'm feeling so sick that I'm looking like I'm going to pass out. I tell my neighbor, I can't even speak. I said, listen, tell her I'm really feeling weak. I need it. She refuses. I pass out. It's a very strange kind of passing out because I'm immobilized, but I can hear everything. Chaos around me. She's come running with the orange juice. I'm, of course, immobilized. Pilot announces that there's medical emergency. They lay me out on the aisleway. 3 doctors descend on me. One guy's, they got a blood pressure machine. They got a stethoscope. One guy's checking my pulse, says pulse is really weak. The other guy checks my blood pressure is dropping. Third guy immediately says he's having a heart attack. Rips open my nice new shirt. I'm thinking, oh my God, my shirt. But he's ripped it apart. Calls for the paddles, the defibrillators from the flight attendant. So all this has happened within like 20, 30 seconds. And I'm, of course, completely baffled. I have no way to respond because I'm just not able to respond. Meanwhile, a 4th doctor, I can hear him, has kind of walked up and he's talking to the neighbor who was sitting next to me. He says, hey, listen, did this guy complain of any symptoms before he passed out? He said, yeah, he complained about feeling dizzy and lightheaded and kept asking for orange juice, which we didn't give it to him. He said, did he say chest pains or anything? He said, no, just dizzy and lightheaded. At this point, this doctor intervenes and screams at the 3 doctors saying, this guy's not having a heart attack. This guy needs some orange juice. He's probably dehydrated and has low blood sugar. He's having what I guess is called a hypoglycemic attack. Get some sugar in him. Get some orange juice in him. So this thing all is happened within like 2 minutes. And of course, they bring some orange juice and I'm back to normal again. The lesson of this story I want to show you is that in the heat of the moment, it's really tempting to go from the problem to saying, aha, here's a solution, rush to judgment. And I think we need to kind of step back, look at the information, understand it, and diagnose it. At the Harvard Business School, we teach by the case method. I think it's a very powerful method to teach diagnostic thinking, to get people to look at the problem, and before you go from problem to solution, to try to understand what really are the underlying factors that may be causing the problem. So sometimes the causes are here and the problem is here. And you have to look beneath the problem to understand what's really behind it and then propose a solution. So diagnostic thinking, I think, is a key to leadership success.